Hey y'all, I just want to give you um, the video of Donald Trump phoning into the Pennsylvania Republican hearing on the 2020 election, and this is through C-SPAN. Okay, so here it is.
We have one additional witness. Please.
I will introduce to you now, Mr. President. You are connected.
Great networks, but I really appreciate being asked to speak. And I'm in the Oval Office right now, and it's very interesting to see what's going on. And this was an election that we won easily. We won it by a lot. The big energy official was on this morning on a important show and said there's no way Trump didn't win Pennsylvania because the energy industry was all for him. I saw, with my eyes what happened, and he told me horror stories, absolute horror stories. So this was a very sad to say it. This election was rigged, and we can't let that happen. We can't let it happen for our country, and this election has to be turned around because we won Pennsylvania by a lot, and we won all of these swing states by a lot. Anybody watching television the night of the election was saying, wow, I was called by the biggest political people, congratulations, sir, on a big win. And all of a sudden, ballots were dumped all over the place, and a lot of horrible things happened. And everybody in that room, I want to thank all of the people that signed affidavits and all of the speakers. You fantastic people, you're great patriots. I want to thank the senators for being there. It's so important, day before Thanksgiving, and really represent somebody between the voter suppression and all of the horrible things that happened to poll watchers. We have poll watcher affidavits piled up to the ceiling. They're all over. They were treated horribly all over this, all of these swing states. I mean, virtually all of the swing states. And many other things were happening that were horrible, just horrible. But the poll watchers weren't allowed to watch. They were, in many cases, whisked out of the room, not only into pens that were 20, 30, 40, 60, 100 feet away, where you couldn't even see. They were using binoculars. People are reporting that they had to use binoculars, and that didn't work. If you were a Republican poll watcher, you were treated like a dog. And the Democrats had no problem, but they were rough. They were literally pushed out, and it was rough tactics. This is what happened here. This is not the United States of America. What happened, and I think everybody knows that. That's why you're
Dog
there,
whistle.
and that's why you're so vehement about it. We have many cases of people
Lies.
walking in. A woman, an elderly woman, walks in looking forward to voting November 3rd and says, "Oh, good. Where would I go about voting? I'm sorry, you've already voted. Your ballot is in." They said, "No, I didn't vote. I didn't vote." "No, your ballot is in. You've already voted." In all cases for Biden, by the way. She said, "No, I want to vote." "Nope, your ballot is in." And then they give her a provisional ballot to sign, which goes nowhere. It's a disgrace that this is happening to our country. We won this election by a lot. We got 74 million votes. And if you would have said 74 million votes the day before the election, every single professional in the business would have said there's no way of beating that. We got 11 million votes more than we had 4 years before in 2016. And we got many votes more than Ronald Reagan had when he won 49 states.
Lord Jesus, he
And
done
nobody
brought Ronald
would have
Reagan
even had
into
a chance
this.
of losing. And all you had to do was take a look at the numbers
Hmm.
at 10 o'clock in the evening when everybody thought the election was virtually over. And then very weird things happened. But they're not weird to professionals, and they're not weird to Dominion and other people that operate machines, and they're not weird to the people that handle the ballots where they were flooding the market. People were getting 2 and 3 and 4 ballots in their home. People that were dead were signing up for ballots. Not only were they coming in and putting in a ballot, but dead people were requesting ballots, and they were dead for years, and they were requesting ballots. watching us. The whole world is watching the United States of America, and we can't let them get away with it. And we have judges that are afraid to make a decision.
This is what you do when you're trying to get money from a large number of people. You just have to tell them whatever it is that they need to hear, so they will write that check or go online with their credit cards and debit cards and send you money. You know, no scruples allowed. You have to be able to say whatever you need to say. You know, it doesn't matter if it's not honest. It doesn't matter if it isn't ethical. The goal here is to just get money, fleece the sheep. Now, what are the repercussions for this? You know, that's the deal. Is this ordained by God? Is this the reason why Trump was put into the world for what he is saying right now, for this to happen? Judge for yourselves. Judge for yourselves. Here we go.
We have judges that don't want to do the same thing. A very good lawyer said, well, sir, I mean, that's a big statement for a judge to overthrow an election. I said, really? If he got hundreds of thousands of votes more than he was entitled to get through all of the things that I'm listening to right now, and you're just covering a few of them. We have hundreds and hundreds of affidavits of stories that are even worse than the stories I'm hearing. Why wouldn't they overturn an election? Certainly overturn it in your state, because we have other states that are just as bad. If you look at Michigan with Detroit, you look at the things that happened in Detroit, where you have a voter, but you have more votes than you have voters. You take a look at Detroit, Michigan. You have more votes than you have voters. And then you have two people that don't want to certify. They don't want to certify, and they're harassed violently, and they turned off the cameras during the harassment for 2 hours. And then they said, wow, and they were afraid, and they voted, and then they went back to sign, and they couldn't do it because they said, we can't do it because this is corrupt. This is horrible what's taking place. Think of it, more votes than you have voters. But that was the least of it. They have things that were as bad as that. And this is going on all over. We're doing very well in a lot of states. A lot of good things are happening in Georgia. We're getting little help from government, but a lot of good things are happening in Georgia, Wisconsin.
This was uploaded 27 seconds ago.
And we sure are looking at what's happening in Pennsylvania and Philadelphia. What happened in Philadelphia, they keep the poll watchers not only in pens, but they keep them out of the building. And the only reason they got back into the building was they got a court order. And then the definition of back into the building was very far away where they couldn't see anything. And they talk about closed circuit television, except you couldn't see it. Because the picture was so unclear, you didn't even know what they were doing. They could have been playing a baseball game. So it's a very sad thing for our country to have this. And they have to turn over the results. So it'd be easy for me to say, oh, let's worry about 4 years from now. No. This election was...
Why you should be concerned is because this is a person who is deliberately deceiving Americans so that he can steal money from them. Now, it's not as my daughter-in-law Kaylee. I like I said, best comeback she's ever given me. The one thing that Kaylee has always taught me is when someone makes a decision, no one is putting a gun to their head. They have to be able to stand on whatever decision it is that they are making. And Kaylee has said a lot of very wise things to me, and I have never forgotten any of them. Every Republican that is at this meeting, it's not Trump's fault. Hear me clearly. This is not Trump's fault that these guys do not do research, that they do not try to double check what it is that he tells them, it is not Trump's fault. Okay? They are responsible for double checking whatever it is that they are being told. It is theirs. They are grown adult people. Okay? Donald J. Trump is not responsible for any of it. Like he is quick to say, I don't take any responsibility for any of it because these are grown people. It is their responsibility to look after their own the information that they're receiving. It is their responsibility to double check it. Now he can say whatever it is that he wants to say. It's up to the listener to double check that and make sure that they are getting good information with which to make decisions on. Now, if they're not willing to do that, that's their fault. That's their fault. It is not Donald's fault.
Lost by the Democrats. They cheated. It
See?
was a fraudulent election.
They're not saying anything. See that? They're clapping.
And I just want to thank everybody for being there.
They're accepting everything he says, hook, line, and sinker. That's not his fault.
And you're doing a tremendous service to our country. And don't worry about bravery, because the people that talk the most, they're not the ones you have to worry about. And these are all talkers. They intimidate. But these are not people that you're going to ultimately have to. They push you around. They pushed our poll workers out. Our poll watchers were pushed out of the building. Okay? Some got back in, they would put it. But these are not people. Don't be intimidated by these people. But they're bad people. They're horrible people. And they're people that don't love our country. So we don't have to worry about 4 years right now. We have to worry about what happened on November 3rd and previous.
Trump is simply showing you. He is showing you a master class in how you fleece the sheep, how you take advantage of people who do not do their own research, who do not make good decisions. That's all this is.
November 3rd. And by the way, after November 3rd, when people put votes in, and they put them in illegally, they put them in after the polls closed. And one of our great Supreme Court justices made mention of that, and I can't imagine that any justice or anybody looking at it could be thrilled when they vote after the election is over. So I want to thank everybody very much for being there. I want to thank the state Senate, respected people, tremendous people, and you're doing a tremendous service for our country. And if something was done wrong, if the election was won fraudulently, and that's what
they have
happened,
no qualms at all.
And we're talking about
they accepted hook, line, and sinker.
Ballots, many more votes than the number we need. In other words, if we needed 50,000 votes, we're not talking about we found 9 dead people that voted. Of course, there were many more than that. Many numbers that nobody even believes. Now, we're talking about numbers that are far in excess of the 50,000. Far in excess of another state where we lost by 10,000. And they went absolutely wild because we had far more votes than they thought possible. And they just stepped on the gas. And they got caught. Just like they got caught spying on my campaign, they got caught doing this. So I really appreciate it, and the country appreciates it, and we have to turn the election over because there's no doubt we have all the evidence, we have all the affidavits, we have everything. All we need is to have some judge listen to it properly without having a political opinion or having another kind of a problem, because we have everything. And by the way, the evidence is pouring in now as we speak. And I want to thank Rudy Giuliani for having the courage to do this. There are other lawyers that backed down because they were being screamed at. Rudy is the greatest mayor in the history of New York, and there's a reason. He's got great courage, and he doesn't care. He wants to do what's right. And I told him the other day, Rudy, you were the greatest mayor in the history of New York, and you see what happened to New York without Rudy. You were the greatest mayor, but this is more important. What you're doing now is far more important than being a great mayor of the city of New York and being its greatest mayor by far. By the way, by far. This is going to be your crowning achievement because you're saving our country. Thank you all very much. Thank you.
There it is. What can you say? Well done, Trump. Well done. They laughed it up, honey. So it's not Donald fault. Now, from a spiritual point of view, um, it says about what is the word? Woe to those who stumble. One of these little ones. I think I could be wrong, but I think it's talking about um, children, not grown-ups, or from a spiritual point of view, you know, um, being a hypocrite, saying one thing and then doing something else against God's word, and stumbling a person who is young spiritually. I think this is a different situation. So he's talking to a room full of adults. He's giving them a whole bunch of food, and he's throwing flattery on top of it, tickling the old ears, and they are just going for it. They're just going for it. Rudy is up there making a stone cold fool of himself, and this man is encouraging it. Well, Rudy is a grown ass man. He's an adult. Matter of fact, he's an old man. He should know better. But this is what he wants to do in the final leg of his life. This is what he wants to put on his back 40. That is his choice. That is his choice. There was no one there holding a gun on damn one of those people. There is no gun to Rudy's head. Now, there may be a tape. There may be a tape of him diddling a little person at Jeffrey Epstein's house that Epstein gave to Trump all these pictures and videos of Giuliani and various other people in his cabinet who and senators who do not want to go against Trump because they do not want this information to go public. Okay. Welcome to the USA, honey. This is how it goes down. This is how politics is done. And believe you me, there is a whole lot more to this story, to what is going on. But Trump is out. He is definitely out. There is no coming back. And whatever New York does to him is what New York does to him. Giuliani is trying with everything that he has to try to save Trump. And I believe it's because Trump got some video on Giuliani. And all I can do is laugh because, again, you have to have standards. You have to have ethics. Somebody will use this information against you, okay? Stay away from drugs, stay away from drinks, stay away from people who lie to you, who feed you false information and then flatter you. They're giving you a pile of crap with some fake non-dairy whipped cream on the top of it. Don't accept it. If you do accept it, know that that is on you and your poor decision making skills. It's not on the culprit, the person who's doing the lying, and it's up to you to be able to make a good decision. You're an adult, be an adult. Make an adult decision. That's all.